It's time to learn stuff with Yekki!
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Learn Stuff with Yekki. What we're going to do today is, in episode 3, we managed to use that captured hash that we got from a responder and crack it using curl to create a bespoke word list, and then both John the Ripper and Hashcat to extract that password from that hash. So now that we've got that, the question is, what can we do? So today we're going to have a very quick look at a tool called SMBClient. So what this tool does is it allows you to log in to any SMB shares that you can find or that you know about on the network, and it will let you, from your Kali box, effectively do anything you would do with SMB. So to the end user, a lot of people don't realise what SMB is or what shared files are. To them it's just G drive or Z drive or my data or HR or whatever it is. They don't realise that this is a shared kind of file or a file share on another computer. But quite often this is used in CTFs, which we see quite a lot. And normally for that, it's hunting passwords, or it's hunting for a database, which we can then crack, which then has a password in it. But actually, when you're looking at a company, there's lots more sensitive information than a password for a system that potentially only tells you what you can already find out. There might be crazy things like backups of CEOs' emails, full client lists, HR documentations, firings, hirings, kind of any disciplinary action, salary details. That could be chaos for the company, any kind of business plans. All that stuff would be a huge impact for the client if an attacker were to get hold of it. And that can all be done using, once you've got a password, using this tool. But what else could you do? Well, quite often you'll have write permission to these share files. So you'd be able to put in something called 2019-2020 salary details.xlsm, maybe a little macro enabled Excel document. Who wouldn't be enticed to click on that document, even if it was just to see if it was what they thought it was, to tell HR? I think you get a lot of clicks on that. So how does this tool work? So firstly, on the Doctor, which is our domain controller, we've created some shared folders. So within the C drive, we've got shared folders. And here we've got folders of companions, the Dalek database, information about Gallifrey, and information about the Ood. So some of these are shared with the user rows, which we have the password for. Some of them aren't. Things like Gallifrey, only the Doctor has access to that. So rows just wouldn't kind of be able to get into that. This is where the sensitive data is. But things like companions, current companions, it's quite likely that she would have access to that to add things. So what we can do is we know where that file share is. So on our Kali box, in our instance Torchwood, we can do a SMBClient L. And what L does is it will list all of the files that the user has access to. So one thing that SMBClient does, which is used a lot in CTFs, is allows anonymous access. So if you do a big U for user and then anonymous, type in any password, quite often this will come back with a list of things within a CTF. Within Windows Server 2016 and 2019, the default is that anonymous access is turned off. So this is really unlikely to actually happen in the real world now. But instead, we can authenticate with the user that we have. So what we need is a big W. This is for the work group. So in our case, this is the TARDIS domain. And then user for rows. If we do that, it asks for our password, so which we know is Mickey1 with a capital M. And it shows us the shares that are available to us. Now, you'll always get admin C, IPC, netlogin on sysvol if it's domain stuff. So we're kind of not going to worry about that. You're more interested in things like HR, finance, or in our case, companions, the Ood. So from here, that's given us a great list. But what we need to be able to do is go and actually have a look at them. So if we do SMBClient //2058, I think it's actually 4 backslashes at the start and then 2 there. And if we go to companions, with the workgroup TARDIS and the user rows. Now you might wonder why there are so many backslashes. I think this is a backslash is an escape character in whatever code SMBClient is written in. So you have to escape the escape character, so you've got to add double the amount of backslashes that you think. If it doesn't work, just double check that you've got enough backslashes. So we've now got that, and now we're going to authenticate to try and look at that companions file with rows. So again, type in our password of Mickey1, and we're in. So we can do a help to get everything that we need, but we're not too fussed about that. PWD is a good one, and it tells us that we are where we thought we were. We're in companions. So if we go dir, we can see that the folder current is there. We know it's a folder because of the D for directory there. So we can cd into current, do another dir, and we've got two text files. We've got Mickey and we've got rows. So these are the current companions, which is fair enough, they'll be held in this file. So now that we can see those, what can we do? Well, we can download them onto our computer. So we can do a get Mickey Smith, and it does it, and then we can get a rows. Great, so we've now downloaded those files. If we exit out of there, we can see that they're there. So we've got, if we do a less on rows, so we've got all the information about rows. Brilliant. And because we're able to download it, we're able to kind of go through at our own pace, do some grepping for things. If it's loads of data, we can just kind of see what it's like later on without having to be on the network at the time. So when we did Responder, we did a lot of stuff about SMB and how SMB works. So what I was really interested in is, does SMBClient do that same kind of protocol traffic, or is there anything that would make it stand out that a sysadmin might be able to go, oh shit, that's really bad. So if we boot up Wireshark here, and we will connect it to our interface. So if we just do that same thing again, where we connect and we'll download a file. So we'll do Mickey1 cd current and get rows. So we've done that whole thing again. And if we look at this Wireshark output, we can see that we've got it negotiates the protocol, it then does a tree connection request. This is all the same as what we saw before with the genuine SMB traffic. So it would be really difficult to go through logs and find out that this was malicious and not a genuine person. Obviously, if you've downloaded every file really quickly, it might be noticed, but other than that, I don't think you'd ever really get caught, or it wouldn't really flag up doing this. And the other great thing that we can do is, quite often there's not only read access, but there's write access. So this is used again a lot in CTFs, especially if you've got like local file inclusion in a web application. You want to get your code so that you can then run it through that web app. Normally sometimes it will let you do it through SMB. So if I exit out of here, so if I Control C, and I want to stick my file in the OOD. So if I connect into the OOD file, type in my password, and then what I can do is I can do a put command. So I've got a file called How the TARDIS Works with all the technical detail, and I can put that on there, and it's done it. So now if I go and have a look at this, I can go to the OOD, and there is the file with the correct timestamp, and the TARDIS works via a big ball of wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. You know, it kind of makes sense. What this means is we could put that salary details XLSM Excel file on there. We could put in something that is a little bit malicious. You can do loads of stuff, all because you've cracked that one password. It's given you this range of access. However, one thing that we did know in this example was we knew exactly where the file share was. So we knew that we could look at it and connect to it. You won't always know that. You won't always have that information. So in the next video, I'll do a slightly longer video, and I'll look at a tool called CrackMapExec, which does scanning of networks and tells you where you kind of pop boxes with the credentials that you've got. But yeah, any questions, any comments, please let me know on Twitter or leave me a comment below. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.